15th of May 2023. You guessed it. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk today about the prepper channels that say they want to thrive during a grid down full-blown Shtf situation. People need to realize a lot of Americans now have gone soft. We're so used to the ease of things, right? We want to mow our yard, we go get on our lawnmower, we crank it up and we mow, or we push mow it, right? Or we pay somebody else to do it. You want to fire up your grill outside, now they have it where you can just go out and put some pellets in it, turn a knob, and it starts cooking for you, right? It's digital, right? We've come so far. We went from cooking food over a fire to, who remembers the little small round grills that were about that thick, you know, and they were round, to them, to the egg, and now we have a set it and forget it grill to cook your meat, or your smokers and things like that. We've become soft. I mean, people nowadays, they think, well, I'm going to stock up fuel, I'm going to stock up feed for my animals, but they don't ever stop and think, what about when that runs out? Because eventually it's going to run out. We've discussed before, if you have a lot of animals on your homestead, but you don't have the room to grow the feed to feed your animals and your family, you're going to have issues with these animals in the long run, because you can't keep them going. You can't. It's just, you're not going to be able to. If you're dependent on your feed coming from a store and you don't have enough space to grow all your food for your family and your animals, you're going to have issues. I mean, nowadays we want to go out and drill something. We use a corded drill or a battery powered drill, right? This right here is the old drills. I mean, this one here actually has the ratchet, so it's not extremely old, but some of you know what this is. I mean, do you imagine how long it would take you to do something? These old hand tools, old hand saws, hand drills, you know, all that kind of stuff nowadays, people are not going to do it, because what would happen if everything run out, fuel run out and everything, and you reverted back to having to use these old tools, right? A lot of people don't know how to use them. A lot of people don't know how to take care of them and how to keep them going. They don't know. They may have some hand saws and stuff like that. They don't know how to sharpen them. They don't know how to set the teeth on them. You know, most of them have them because it was their grandpa's and it's sitting over in a box because it was his. And they might use it every now and then just to bring back a memory of grandpa, right? There's a lot of stuff people are not learning. Like I always say on here, you need to learn with these. That's your number one teacher. Until you get your hands on something, you know, you can sit and read every book, watch every video there is on it, but until you actually use your hands on it, you're not really going to learn. I mean, how many times have you sat there and been like, you know, you read something, you watch a video on it, and you go try it, and it doesn't happen exactly the way it's supposed to, right? But you start learning, you figure out with your hands how you need to do it. But people right now, if we reverted back to the 1930s, having to go out, or let's go back further to the 1800s. Number one, how many people nowadays still has horses or mules or oxen to pull stuff with, right? How many people nowadays actually have the equipment that pulls behind those animals to garden and things like that, or wagons? They're just not there. You know, eventually your fuel, your supplies as far as fuel, propane, all that stuff's going to run out eventually. Your solar system, eventually your batteries are going to give out, right? One of the worst things on a solar system is your charge controller. I don't know why the things go out so much, but they do. But your batteries are going to go out, and you want to thrive, right? Well, what's your definition of thriving? When I hear somebody say that on a prepping channel, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you want to have all the things you have right now. You know, you want to just not really see a change in anything, right? You want to be able to go on about your daily routine as normal. I mean, last year here, we decided we were going to turn a garden spot with a shovel, a grub hoe, and a hoe. And let me tell you, that was some work. We wanted to see if it was possible, and it is possible, but it took a long time to do it. It took a real long time. And a lot of people, I mean, if you're having to do it to survive, a lot of people will do it. But most people think, well, I'll just go hop on my tractor, I'll go get my garden tiller, I'll till up a spot, you know, and I'll get it ready. They're not thinking far enough out. You know, they're thinking short term. They're not thinking when my fuel runs out what I'm going to do, because they still don't have the equipment to plant. You know, you hear all the time, we're going to grow our gardens and we're just going to live off the land and survive. Well, you got to have equipment to do that. You got to. It's just as simple as that. When I say equipment, you got to start thinking about, go to these yard sales, junk stores, start picking up a couple of hand saws, some old hand drills, things like that, and learn how to use them. Because eventually you're not going to have a battery to run your drill. You're not going to have power to run your drill or your saws. You're going to be back to hand tools, working with your hands, right? It's not easy. We do it around here every now and then. Not, we don't do it all the time. Yes, we have power tools, but we also have the old hand tools, and we know how to use them. People nowadays, I'm telling you, who would ever thought you would go out, turn a knob on a grill, an outside grill, right, that you're cooking your meat on, your barbecuing or grilling, whatever you want to call it. You just turn a knob, set a dial, and forget it. And it'll even send you a text on your phone when you're done, when it's done cooking or smoking. And people are talking about the digital dollar, how it's coming. I'm going to tell you, the digital dollar is going to slip right in, because it makes it easy for people. It's going to slip right in because the majority of people already use their phones to pay for everything, or a card. It's coming. To get back on point here, if you want to thrive in a full-blown SHTF situation, grid down, no stores, nothing, you've got 3 years worth of gasoline, 3 years worth of propane, you got all this, right? It's going to run out eventually. And if you don't have the hand tools now before time, what are you going to do then? You're not going to go out here and fire up your tiller and till up a garden spot. And if you've got animals, like if you're a homesteader and you've got a lot of animals, if you do not have the ability to grow enough food on that property for yourself and your animals, you're going to have issues. I mean, do y'all even think about this when you're saying, oh, I've got 100 chickens and 15 goats and 50 head of cattle? Okay, where's your feed coming? Well, we buy our hay from the neighbor. We buy our hay, from this person. We buy feed from the feed. What are you going to do? Do you have enough room to take care of these animals? More than likely you don't. Because nowadays farms aren't as big as they used to be. And what I mean by that is, they had enough room to grow all of their needs right there on the farm. That's how they took care of their family and they took care of their animals. It's not like that nowadays. A lot of these people on YouTube that's showing you all this stuff, they're leaving out the important thing. They're telling you how to survive and thrive during it, right? But they're not telling you that, hey, eventually we're going to go back to hand tools. You can have every prep in the world, guys. Every prep in the world, but you don't have hand tools. We're talking shovels, hand drills, hand saws, all these type of things, right? Eventually, that's what you're going to need. So, that's my video for today. Most of you's probably not going to watch it. But if you're still watching it and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times, because at that moment, you're the only person that can do it. Stay safe, get prepped up, and go out to a yard sale or a junk store and try to find you some old hand tools. They're going to come in handy eventually. Stay safe, get prepped.